Hello. Hello, hello. Let's see. Let's see who is here. Okay, good morning everyone. George is back. So for those of you that don't know, George is the comedian, and when we were in person, he would give us jokes every week to help us laugh and be happy, which is an important part of everything, right? So, George, here we go. What do you call a muscle car driver under 20 years old who is waiting at a stoplight? A teen idol. I can just imagine what goes on in your mind thinking of all these things, George. All right, Joanne, good morning. Yeah, thanks for the giggle. I love that word giggle. And it's so therapeutic. So, yes. Oh, hi. I'm new. Oh, hi. Do I call you Jules? Is your name like Jules? Okay. That makes me think of what was that whole St. Elmo's fire and all that? And Demi Moore was Jules. All right. Well, welcome. And oh, Paula. Did you say Paula? Okay. Anyway, okay. Dina, hello. Okay, Paula, yes, great. Awesome. Glad to have you here. Hi, Lynn and Dave. And oh gosh. Yeah, what goes on in his head? Yeah, it's interesting. Well, I love when it's a family affair. So it looks like today's a family affair. Um, Okay, great. Nice to meet you, Paula. Hi, Nancy. Well, Paula, if there's anything in particular that you want to ask me or any conditions or issues that you have that you need to be careful about, let me know. This is it's combined from two classes. I used to teach a basic yoga they called it Yoga Basics, and then a restorative yoga. And since the pandemic, being at home, those two are together. And I said stress reduction or stress management, because honestly, that's really truly what is happening, and what we really need to address is stress. Because stress is when we ask for more than what can be given, and then there is either challenges to give what's being asked, and that's at any level. So that's in your body, in your mind. Stress is when the pressure is just too much. Makes me think of a cartoon character where it's a little person holding a big stone above their heads, and that stone can be real, concrete, or it could be just the pressures and the demands of life in general. So I call this stress management, to get the stress out of our bodies, to get the stress of aging away from us or manage it better, and then the mental emotional layer as well. All right, perfect. And that's what you should do, is do whatever you can. All right, so let me think. All right. I definitely have a plan. I mean, I came today with thoughts. All right. So for today's practice, we are going to use breath and movement quite a bit throughout the practice. And when you do that and you match your breath with the movement, it's a really great way to ground mental energy. And in yoga, we think of everything is energy. Nikola Tesla and Albert Einstein say that everything is made up of energy. And that was always a hard concept for me to grasp, what that meant. Like, how could this be energy? Like, what is it? And maybe it's probably like organic material, right? That is energy and energy sourced. And so how can this be, or energy, and then it takes this form and this form and this form? It's just kind of interesting. But like, let's think of energy of us. And there's 5 elements of energy. There's the earth element, which is dense and gross, not gross as in, oh my gosh, but gross as in heavy and touchable. And so there's the earth element in our body, and bones are representative of the earth element, some of our heavier aspects of us, the real physical aspects. Then we go into the water, and water in our physical body would be all of our fluids, the water that's in us, the blood that's in us, the lymphatic fluids that are in us. gastric juices, digestive juices, pancreatic juices. All of that would be the water element. And then fire is transformation. It takes the elements of earth and water and turns them into gas form, right? Which is after fire becomes air and then ether. So air, and then we could also call ether space. And fire being transformative, that's a big aspect of digestion, because food comes in and it needs to be transformed into you, like the building blocks of you. So if we think about ourselves in terms of this energy, that we have these elements, earth and water and fire and air and ether, that we are this energy, we use those elements to balance. So when we're talking about stress or stress management, stress can be very much in the air ether, right? I like to say it's like helium balloons. Like your mind is a helium balloon. Like you go to the future, oh my gosh, and what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And you feel light, right? So we use this practice of yoga to help balance our energy. And when we do movement matched with breath, you stay so grounded and so heavy and so present moment that the stress of the mind, which is subtle and light, the worry about the future, the worry about the past, we actually can manage that stress really well when we do movement with breath. So today's practice will incorporate throughout our practice some movement and breath practices. So for the practice today, we'll need a strap and a block, something that looks like this. It could be a rolled up towel, it could be a blanket, a block if you have one, and then a blanket. And then I am going to begin my practice today in a chair. I'm going to put my legs up a chair. Another great way would be legs up the wall, or if you're in a space where you have a sofa nearby, or an ottoman or a lounge chair, that's a really great place to put your legs as well. And this helps to settle the low back. Many people seem to have low back, and a lot of the stress that's in the body goes to the low back. So I'm going to begin today with my legs up a chair. You could put your legs up a sofa, legs up the wall, whatever you have around you. In India, where yoga came from, they don't use all this fancy stuff. They use whatever is near them. Very much, about nature and about whatever it is you have. All right. So I'm going to describe, you're going to hear my voice the most because I'm teaching this class, leading this class. And the most intelligent voice for you to listen to is the one that's inside, the one that tells you that, yes, I should or can do that, or no, I shouldn't. Or maybe I should do it a little bit, not a lot of it. So you listen to your body, and let's begin. We're going to come down onto the ground, grounding our mental energy. Now, for some of you that have a pretty active mind and you're in a real active mind space, sometimes it's harder to come down. So let's see if I can give you some things to do to tame that mind of yours. So let's bring ourselves down onto the ground, and whatever it is you're going to use. So if you do have a chair, if you are going to put your legs up a chair or a sofa or an ottoman and have your knees bent, make sure that your entire calf is supported all the way to your back knees. And if you're going to be up at the sofa and have your legs long, make sure that you don't have a tuck in your pelvis or a posterior tilt in your pelvis. You want your pelvis so that you feel the center of your pelvis on the ground. So we can be really neutral in our pelvis, which will allow the hip joints to relax, the femur bone to sit nice and deep in your hips. So for those of you with hip issues, those of you with low back issues, this could be a really fantastic physical posture to be in. And it also is wonderful for managing stress. So let's take your head and make sure that the blanket is underneath just the head and the neck area, not the upper back. And then take your arms, press your arms into the ground, lift your upper body off the floor so you could slide your shoulder blades towards your spine. Bring your hands to your belly. Close your eyes. So the practice of restorative yoga is to restore your energy, restore your internal environment, restore your body to a place of relaxation versus tension, to restore the joints to a deeper set position or a properly aligned position. When we lie on our backs like this, we actually have the opportunity to arrange our spine in a more neutral position, taking away the pressures from above, from sitting and standing, because that's a lot of stress on the spine and the low back. So close your eyes. Feel your body and the connection of your body to the earth. Feel the sacrum, feel the pelvis, feel the heaviness of the pelvis, the largest bony structure in your body. Feel the center of your pelvis, the base of your spine. Take a couple of exhales here. When you exhale, bring your awareness to your low back and bring in the words or the feeling of relaxation into the low back. So really let the weight of your legs go here. Whether your legs are up the wall or on a chair, allow the weight of the leg bones to sink nice and deep and to release and relieve tension in the body. And bring your awareness to your spine, the back of your body. Low back is not touching, and the ribs are. And the middle spine is. So feel that part of you. Bring your inner eyeballs backwards to the back of your spine and the back of your ribs. Do you feel more pressure on one side versus the other? Or do you feel pretty even across your back? Without judgment, just noticing where you are in your body, where you're being held in your body. Bring your awareness to your neck. The back of your neck, make it as long as you can by sliding the head away from you and allowing the chin to come down a little closer to your heart. Feel the center of your head. Let your head go. The average head weighs about 10 pounds. And that's a lot of weight to be carrying when you're sitting, standing. And can be a big stressor on the muscles of the upper back, neck, spine, shoulders. And then depending on how active that head of yours is, how often you're living in that head with thoughts of yesterday or tomorrow, and worry and fear, becomes even heavier. More straws on the camel's back. So allow yourself to relax. Let go of your head. Let it be heavy. Feel how heavy it is pressing into the floor. And then let's actually press the back of the head into the floor a little bit more, and then a lot of bit more. You'll feel the tension in the back and neck muscles. You may feel that all the way down to your tailbone. And then slowly, slowly release the tension of pressing your head into the ground. Hands are on the belly, spread the fingers. And then bring your awareness all the way down to your left foot, to the toes, the big toe, the space between the big toe and the second toe, third toe, fourth toe, space between the fourth toe and the pinky toe, as if you could see it. The sole of your left foot. Do you feel the air? Do you feel any sensations? Bring your awareness to the top of your left foot, And then your left ankle. Do you notice anything in the ankle joint? Bring your awareness to your calf. If it's supported by something, feel that support. Bring your awareness to your shin, your left shin. Your left knee. Do you feel anything in the left knee? Your left thigh. Your left hip. Feel the relaxation as that joint relaxes deep in the hip joint. And bring your awareness up your whole entire left leg. Bring the awareness over to the right foot, the right sole, the right arch. Do you feel anything? Notice anything? The right big toe, the tip of the right big toe, and the right big toenail. The second toe, third, fourth, and the pinky toe. And the tips of your right toes. The top of your right foot, and the ankle joint. The right calf, feel it, notice it. The right shin. The right knee. What do you feel in your right knee? Your right thigh. Your right hip. Feel the relaxation in the right hip. And your entire right leg. Bring your awareness to your pelvis, to your buttocks, your right buttock, your left buttock, your left buttock, your right buttock, and the center, the sacrum, the base of your spine. Feel that support. Bring your awareness to your low back. Notice what you notice here. Bringing your awareness up to the middle back, back of the ribs. Feel the parts of you that are touching the floor. Bring your awareness over to your left hand. The left hand touching your belly. Take a couple of breaths down to your left hand. Visualize your left palm, your left fingers. As you breathe, mouth closed, breathing in through your nose, down to your left palm and your left fingers. So you feel the left lower belly moving as you breathe down to your left palm. See if you could take a deeper breath to your left hand. And bring your awareness to your left wrist, your left forearm, front and back, left elbow, left upper arm bone, and left shoulder. Your whole left arm as you let it be heavy on your next exhale. Bring your awareness over to the right palm, the right fingers. Begin to direct your breath to your right palm, your right fingers. Feel your belly rise into your hand. Feel the palm move up with the belly and the fingers of the right hand. As you breathe in to your right palm, your right hand. And then bring your awareness to your right wrist, your right forearm, right elbow, right upper arm bone, right shoulder. Your entire right arm. Allow your arm to relax, the right shoulder to relax. On your next exhale, let both shoulders relax. Bring your awareness down to your belly. Feel both hands rise and fall with breath. Breathe into your palms, into your fingertips of the left hand and the right hand. Bring your awareness to your heart. Breathe to your heart. Feel expansion in the ribs, expansion in the chest as you breathe to your heart. Bring your awareness to your neck, the front of your neck, the sides of your neck, the right side, the left side, and the back of your neck. Nice and long, flowing, open. Bring your awareness up to your jaw. Relax your jaw. Feel your jaw relaxing back. Bring your awareness to your facial muscles, the right side, the left side, the cheeks, right side, left side. Allow the cheeks to relax with gravity towards the ground. Bring your awareness to your eyeballs, the right eyeball, the left eyeball. Let the muscles relax that move and support your eyeballs. Bring your awareness to the space between the eyes, all the way to the back. Feel the pressure on the back of the ground, supporting the weight of your head. And then following the breath from the nose all the way down to the belly, feeling the belly rise, feeling the right palm, the left palm, the right fingers, the left fingers. Receive the breath in your belly. Slow down your breath and follow the breath in all the way to the palms, to the fingers. And feel your whole body breathe. If you breathe in, feel expansion. You breathe out, feel contraction. Last few breaths. Inhale the word relaxation. Let it go everywhere, all the way down to the tips of your toes. And exhale the word tension. Inhale the word relaxation all the way down to the left foot, to the tips of the toes. Exhale the word tension. Let tension leave your body. Inhale to the right foot, to the right tips of the toes. Relaxation. Exhale tension. Inhaling relaxation to your whole body. Exhale tension. Any areas you need to give special love and attention to, take your breath there. Bring relaxation to the parts of you that need the most attention. Bring in relaxation, let it soften and loosen whatever it is that's going on in your body or in your mind. Let relaxation go there and soften and dislodge and dissolve. And on the exhale, tension is releasing whatever was dissolved, dislodged. Inhaling relaxation, exhaling tension. And bring your awareness to your toes. Start to wiggle your toes. Noticing when you wiggle your toes, if you feel symmetrical. Where do you feel that wiggle? Wiggling your toes. Do you feel it in your ankles? Do you feel it in your calves? Bring your awareness to your fingers. Start to wiggle your fingers. Start to bend your fingers. You have 27 bones and 27 joints in the fingers and the hand. So try to articulate as many of those joints as you can. And then sliding your feet along the chair, draw the knees into your chest. Feel how the low back presses towards or into the floor. And then hold on to the front of your knees. Rock gently side to side. Keep your eyes closed. Feel yourself rocking across the top of the pelvis. It's where the low back muscles attach. This is the tendinous part of this muscle group. And a lot of discomfort can show up here in the tendons. So with the knees drawn in, bringing in what's called flexion, or the opposite bend in the lower back spine. And then rocking side to side. And then unbend your knees, hold on behind your hamstrings. Let the soles of the feet be up towards the sky. Soles are facing the sky, toes are pointing towards the wall behind you. And then rock a little bit bigger, spread your legs a little more. Feel that massage you're giving yourself along the lower back, top of the pelvis. And then bring yourself onto your side. Your eyes can still be closed. Bring yourself onto your side. Cradle your head in your arm.
And then when we come to a seated position, we're going to move with lots of care for our body. So we're not going to let our head pull us up or our back. We're going to use the pushing muscles to push away from the floor. And we're going to use this top leg like a piston. So if your eyes are still closed, gently blink your eyes open. This top leg is going to act like a piston to help this action. So here's the top leg. And you're going to take your hand on the floor, spreading your hand really nice and wide here. You're going to take an inhale and then let your head move closer to your hand. You're looking at your hand. Push your elbow, push your hand into the ground, and kick your leg away as you push away and you lead with your shoulder. And I'd like you to check in with how you're feeling. Notice if you feel really relaxed. That was actually a 21 or 22 minute, actually. What was that? 23 minutes. A 23-minute guided somatic relaxation. When we bring our awareness to our body like that, we move from our brain down into our physical body, and we move from the centers of our brain where chronic stress or unconscious, subconscious stress is, and we come to the sensory aspects. It could be a really tremendous way to elicit a very deep, heavy relaxation response. When I teach this in person with people, whether I'm in a group or privately, this is where I get the energy of those space for the person, and even for myself, becomes so relaxed and so heavy and so beautiful. And for the most effective healing that we can achieve, this is what we want. We want to feel that the deepest relaxation possible, because that's when the body can start to tap into its natural inner healing that exists in all of us. So whenever you need to relax your mind, drop down into your body. And whichever physical position you put yourself in, the flatter you are, the darker the room is, when the eyes are closed, those are all steps to get you into that space of nice, deep relaxation and nice, deep healing. All right, so let's begin to do a little bit of movement, wake ourselves up a little. I'll tell you, for me, I feel so relaxed right now. I want to show you something for those of you that have a chair, especially if you have back issues. Having a chair, this could be the back of your sofa, this could be a chair, getting a little traction and a little length in the spine, this can be nice. So you take your hands on the back of the chair. You could bring your forehead to the front of the chair, or maybe even the chin, reaching your hands up. Let your pelvis be really heavy here. Let the pelvis be heavy, lengthen your spine, 26 vertebra. And then if you could push your belly button towards your spine and point your tailbone down towards the ground. Feel that stretch that takes place. Now, for some of you, it may be in the armpits, it may be on the side of the body. You may experience this in the lower back. You could do a little wiggle side to side, stretching your body gloves, stretching your tissues. If you start to go pretty far side to side, you'll feel more stretch. For me, there's a lot of stretch underneath the armpit area along the side of the body. And this is where a lot of lymphatic vessels are. So for immune health, keeping this nice and unobstructed so that your lymphatic vessels, the nodes, the vessels can all be nice and free flowing. And then go ahead and bring yourself all the way up. I want to see something here about a squat with this. Yeah. So for those that can squat, actually, if you take your blanket and roll your blanket up, because that'll be a little bit more help you. And I know not all of you can do this. So for those of you that can't do it, you could stay with what we just did, or you could come into the squat. With the squat, the legs are pretty wide here. Okay, so if you have your blanket, you roll your blanket up, and then you bring your feet so that your heels are on your blanket, your toes are on the ground. This actually, a squat position, can be very relaxing for the low back, for those whose knees will bend and for those who can get into this position. So sorry for those that can't. Don't worry, you're not missing out. There's many things we could do, but for those that can do this, try it. And then you could reach up maybe and touch the top of your chair, or even if you push down onto your chair, pushing down into your chair with your forearms, you'll get maybe some more relaxation in the low back area. And then let's come out of that. And I know that's not available to all. So for those that can, a little something there for you to explore. So we're going to take our prop and move our prop off to the side. So do that nice and thoughtfully, moving your prop off to the side. And then bringing yourself onto the ground. So let's bring ourselves onto the blanket. We're going to use a block here, doing a nice puppy dog, flow. And this is a nice flow to move breath and body. Now, for those with wrist issues, the farther back your body goes from your wrist minimizes the bend that's in the wrist here. So when we come right above ourselves, there's a deeper bend, like the letter L, versus straight away, it's like the letter I, right? There's no flexion in the wrist joint. So for those with wrist issues, have your hands really far forward and don't come so close to your wrists. Stay a little bit away from that. So maybe you don't come as far forward. For those that are okay with that, you will come all the way forward. All right. So we're going to do a cow or an extension position when we come forward, adding a back bend. And then when we come back, we're going to keep our spine straight, keeping our tushy in the air. Some of you will need to have a block so that you'll have this block here so that when you come back, your forehead rests on the block. Others may not need the block. When you come forward, you come into extension. You're really going to feel the low belly stretch here as you pull the ribs away from the top of your pelvis. This helps to take sitting out of the body, helps to really stretch the midsection of the body, the torso area where the belly is and the low back. So bring your block there if you need, otherwise not. Take your hands probably as wide as your mat and pretty far forward. Let's begin in the exhale position, which is puppy dog. Forehead rests on the block or on the mat. Arms are straight. Try to unbend your elbows. And let this be a nice stretch underneath the armpit area and the chest area. Take an exhale here. And then you're going to inhale to come up forward into a cow position or extension, and then exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back. One more. Bring yourself forward. Let's take your hands underneath your shoulders. For those with wrist issues, you could come on what's called fists for wrists. So there's no bend in your elbows whatsoever, no bend in your wrists whatsoever. There'll be no bend in the elbows for all of us. So this is about bending wrists or not. I will say it is important to keep your wrists strong and flexible, because if you do slip, trip, or fall, you want to have as much play or dance in your wrist joint as you can, so you minimize fractures or stress fractures. Let's push ourselves side to side here, side to side. Bring yourself back. Let's inhale forward, back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more. And then walk yourself up, and bring yourself all the way up. So coming here on your shins, come to your shins, and then have your legs be a little wider than hip distance, and take your hands on your waist, and let's do some circles here. Go slow. You're going to inhale when you go forward, exhale when you go back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Feel what you feel here. Keep your shoulders away from your ears, so make sure you don't have shoulder earrings. Take your elbows back towards each other. Last circle in this direction, inhale forward. And then bring yourself all the way up. Take an exhale here. Inhale forward and exhale back, other direction. So try to get the biggest movement you can get. Let that pelvis be what moves the most here. Make sure it feels okay. There's some stretch on the muscles that stabilize and mobilize the knee, stabilize and mobilize the hips, stabilize and mobilize the lower back. Inhale forward, exhale back. And then bring yourself back to center. Come here, let's get your strap. It's a great place to do chest stretching. Now, for those with shoulder issues, your shoulders are either okay with being raised or they're not. So if you have stickiness issues in your shoulders, let's think of cobwebs where it's a little bit cranky. You can do this like this, inhaling to open and exhale to close. This is spinal extension, stretching the chest muscles, stretching the shoulder muscles. This would be you inhale to open, exhale to close. For those that have shoulders that are okay with movement, I'd like you to take the strap, bring the strap up on the inhale and back on the exhale. Inhale up, exhale to come back. Inhale, exhale. Try to be as smooth as you could be with your breath and as smooth as you could be with the movement. The shoulder is a ball and socket joint. So see if you can get that ball to freely roll around in that space. And then for those that are not using the strap, see if you could freely open your arm out to the side on the inhale and bring it back on the exhale. If you are using a strap, come here, stay here. Imagine that you had a sheet you were holding and you were in the wind and the wind is blowing your sheet back and your arms are fully stretched. Your whole front body is stretching. Let your chin be parallel to the ground so you don't put too much tension in the upper back. And then bring yourself back to center. Side to side, if you have a strap, side to side, really stretch the heck out of the side of the body. Keep the arms alongside the body and even slightly towards the back. And then if your shoulders won't let you do this, you can go side to side with your elbows leading the way. So finding the ways to laterally flex your spine that are doable for you is what matters. This is a bending of the spine side to side. This is a stretching of obliques and low back muscles, quadratus lumborum, and tissue that's in the midsection of the body, the supportive parts of you, the parts of us that get so tense when we have the stress from sitting too much, from looking down too much, from life, from the pressures of life. So keeping your lateral chain, your side body stretch, really important for stress. And then bring yourself back to center. Take your strap off to the side. So we're going to take some of the stress out of the lower body by stretching the tissues and releasing whatever's held there. You know, stress starts in the mind, but it ends up in the body. When we have tension In our mind, it goes in the body responds biochemically and musculoskeletally. So your joints, your ligaments, your tendons, your muscles respond to what happens in your mind. So let's take some time to kind of soften and loosen up what you were worrying about yesterday, or what you're worrying about for tomorrow or next week or next year, which is not even real. So let's remove some of that tension from wherever we've been with our mind. Come to the very back edge of your blanket. You'll need a block for this, maybe, depending on what's going on balance-wise. Bring your right leg forward. Bring your right leg forward and bring your right leg very forward so that the ankle joint is in front of the knee. You are not here, having your foot closer to your body than your knee would be. You're forward. And then if this brings up some issues with balance, come to be here, looking straight ahead. Right toes are pointing forward. Let's see how you can play with this in your body balance-wise. So push the left top foot into the ground. Don't bend your toes under. Let the toenails touch the ground. Your right foot is forward. Your left leg is back. And I want you to kind of just be here and allow your body to try to figure out this balance. Where are you? So that left hip joint, that left side body is having to do a lot of communication for balance. This is good for strengthening balance. And you're close to the ground, which is good because then the fear of falling isn't quite as great as it would be if you were standing up. Important to keep ourselves balanced. I want you to push that right foot into the ground, really activating that right glute. Activate that right glute. Right foot is into the ground, push it in like crazy. Push the left foot, push the right foot. Feel what's happening here, activating that back side of your right leg. Supportive of knee health, hip health, back health, and then overall well-being. Take your hands on top of your right thigh, both hands. Right hand is on the thigh, left hand is on top of the right. Take a big exhale. And then inhale to slowly bring your entire body forward so that the back leg moves towards a straight position. The back hip joint, you feel a stretch there. Then push the right foot into the floor like crazy on your exhale and hug your lumbar spine with your core to come back up. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, push your right foot in, push your left foot in, hug your lumbar spine, bring yourself back up. Slower is harder. This is a more advanced practice when you move slowly. Harder for your mind and harder for your body. So you're doing advanced yoga. One more. Come forward. Stay here. Take your left hand down alongside your body. Inhale to raise it up. Push your right hand into your right thigh. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Let your gaze follow and you'll stretch even deeper. Exhale to lower. One more. Inhale to lift your arm up. Look at the wall across the room from you. Feel the stretch in your belly. And then bring yourself back. Take your block forward, wherever. You could be on the highest level. And then walk your right foot forward. Rock your right foot to the side. And then come onto your right pinky toe edge. So you're bending your right foot. You're really stretching your ankle joint. This is important for balance, important for cramps. If you get cramps in your legs, sometimes tightness is a big part of this. So tipping your foot onto your right pinky toe side, and then maybe even moving the knee away from you, if this is appropriate for you. So you do whatever you can. We're adding weight to stretching now, so it's a little bit more intense when you add your body weight to stretching. And then bring yourself back to center. Can you come down a little bit deeper? So bring your body forward. Do not round your spine. Your spine is long. Bring yourself forward. Maybe you could come onto the ground with one hand. Maybe you could come onto the ground with the other hand. You could walk your foot to the side a little bit more. Spine is straight, especially if you have osteoporosis. You do not want to round your spine. Bringing your body forward, the pelvis is forward. If you want to come down onto your forearms, for those of you that are a little bit more limber, keeping your spine straight, no rounding the spine, or even to the highest level here. There are people, of course, that can do this all the way onto the ground. Really stretch the heck out of your inner thighs, the whole pelvic area. Releasing tension in the knee joint, the hip joint, the pelvis, the low back. freeing up those joints, the range of motion. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself all the way up. Let's bring ourselves all the way out and let's take a break. So for those of you that could sit on your heels, sit on your heels. For those of you that can't and you're up here, a little wider stance may release the pressure that's on the knees, or even more so, take your feet together and your knees to the side. So you're a little bit more on the inner part of your knee. So this practice that we're doing right now, during the practice, it's definitely more challenging and you feel the tension and the stretch and you might feel pressure on your knees, on the ground. So all of that, you're definitely experiencing a little bit more. After you do this practice, that's when you notice the benefits. You feel that freedom that you're creating in your pelvis, your low back, your hips, and your knees. So we don't always feel the benefits when we're in it. Sometimes it's when we come out. All right, come back onto your legs, and then let's bring the left leg forward and bring it forward. So it's not close to your body, it's forward. And then I'd like you to stay here and let's feel the body trying to calibrate and balance. Feel your right hip. Push your right foot into the floor, push your left foot into the floor. And when you activate left foot, which is the front foot, and you activate right leg, you'll feel the back of one leg turning on, and the front of the other. So the front leg, when you push the foot into the floor, you'll feel your glutes, posterior chain, back of your body activating. And then when you push the front of the foot into the back, you'll feel the front part of your body, your knee up to your calf. So push your feet in to the ground and then release. And feel your body trying to calibrate, figuring out where are you? Having the block there if you need it, or leaving it off to the side. Let's take our hands onto our thighs. You take the left hand onto the left thigh and the right hand on top. Make sure your left foot is pretty far forward. Exhale. And then inhale slowly to stretch that front right area. Exhale to come up. Inhale. Push your left foot into the ground. That'll really help to balance out the stretch. And do what's appropriate for you. Now, if this is too intense and you wanted to have a block to help you, maybe the right kneecap doesn't feel so great here, you can have a block here to help. The next one, you're going to come forward, stay here. Feel that stretch on the right side. Take the right hand down alongside the body. Take the left hand on the knee. Take an exhale. And then inhale, raise the right arm and look across the room higher than your eye level. And exhale to lower. Inhale. One more. Stay here. And then go ahead and bring yourself up. Now grab your block. We're going to come forward into that deep stretch. So bring your block forward. Let's take your left leg over to the side a little bit more. And then flip onto the left pinky toe edge of your foot. So you feel that left ankle joint area. You could take the leg a little wider to the side. You'll start to go into the adductors or the inner thigh muscles. Really let the pelvis be forward though. Don't have your tushy up in the air. You want your entire pelvis to be forward and you want that right hip joint to be straight, not bent. And then if you want to explore going lower, coming on to forearms, whatever you do, you want to keep the spine straight. So you don't want to have the spine rounded and bent for you to get down to it. That's not effective. You want the spine nice and straight. If you do have more range of motion, maybe you can come down onto all fours, or you could be here on the block, or you could have your hands be on the ground. So like a runner's lunge, I believe this can be called. And then in the practice of yoga, this is almost a variation of lizard pose. Because if you think about a lizard, you'll see a lizard with one leg forward, two hands on the ground, and sometimes they even do the push-ups. Take one more breath. And then exhale to bring yourself all the way up and out. And then let's straighten our legs, take that pressure off our knees. Bring your hands forward. Take your right foot back first. Flip your toes under, all toes, all 5 of them, and spread your hands like crazy. Take your hands pretty far forward. So this is not necessarily based on your wrists. Push your feet back. And then let's take the other one. Take your foot back, flip your toes under, push your heels back. Feel that stretch. And then go ahead and come forward. Let's do a plank, a dolphin plank. It's really lovely to have strength in our body. Really lovely, because the stronger we are, the more that we can manage and handle on so many levels, right? If you're strong, you'll feel more secure about your balance, which will be less stressful when you're trying to move around and do things. It'll also give the ability to live bigger, to do things you want to do, participate in life when you feel confident in the strength and balance in your body. So we want to even sometimes think of stress like we want to manage stress by not even bringing stress into our bodies or our minds. So this would be, I'm so strong, I'm not worried, I can live my big life kind of stuff. All right, take your block. We're going to take our block like this. And when you do come down on the ground, it's this where your elbows are. That's why we have the block here. You don't want your elbows to be wide like this. You want your elbows to be supportive, so you activate the shoulder girdle. So you're going to bring your block forward. Bring your elbows onto the floor underneath your shoulders. For those of you doing the modification, you can put your legs on the ground. You want to make sure that your back is flat, or not flat, but neutral curve. You don't want your tushy up in the air if you're doing the modification, okay? And then for those of you that want to flip your toes under and come up into a full dolphin. Okay. That's my heater. Kind of scary. You guys are up in dolphin. Okay. So really push your heels back, push your arms into the ground, push your feet into the ground, lengthen your head, push away from the floor. Feel the strength in your body from this dolphin pose. Feel all that it takes to hold yourself up here. Push away from the ground. Push your feet away from the ground. Push your heels back. Push your arms into the block. Push your hands into the floor. Take one more breath. And then go ahead. Bring your pelvis onto the ground. Take your block off to the side. Let's do a little movement here with breath, with movement. So here we are. We're going to come down onto the ground. Push your arms into the ground. Lengthen your spine and bring yourself all the way down. Bring your hands alongside your body. So your palms are spread. Pointer finger and thumbs are actually, let's turn your hands backwards. So the fingers are pointing down towards your feet. Walk your feet closer together. Let the big toes touch. Palms are on the ground or close to it. You can even let them be a little bit farther away from you so you can get your palms to touch the ground, okay? Fingers are pointing down to the feet. Thumbs are pointing away from you. Push your hands down. Slide your shoulder blades towards each other. Elbows are near your body. Forehead touches the floor. Nose touches the floor. Exhale. Inhale, lift your head forward and up. Exhale to lower. Inhale, forward and up. And exhale. Close your eyes. Feel the strength of your trunk supporting your body, lifting away from the ground. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. On your next one, I want you to stay up for a whole breath. And exhale to lower. Fold your hands, one on top of the other. Spread your legs as wide as your mat and place your forehead in the back of the hands. And then bend your knees one at a time. Bending your knees one at a time. Then bend both knees. And allow your legs to move from side to side in more of a passive way. So not so muscular here. Let it be relaxing as that upper leg bone rolls around in the hip joint and lets the weight of the feet move closer to the ground on each side. And then bring your legs back to center. Take your hand away from you and roll onto your side. Check in with your body here. We're going to do that getting up again, where we're going to use that top leg like a piston. We're going to use our hand on the ground pushing away, because learning how to move safely and functionally is a really important part of healthy aging and keeping our bodies nice and safe. And if you think about it, think about any injuries you may have had or friends have had, and you ask, oh, what happened? And everyone says, well, I wish I had a really good story about why I broke this or why I did this. But actually, and it's usually something silly, it's some like daily task that we're doing. We reach for something, or we were trying to step over something or whatever. So we need to practice like moving safely when we're doing, I don't want to say mundane, but daily things. In this case, getting up from the ground. So you're going to bring your hand on the floor in front of you. You're going to bring that top leg like it's going to be a piston. And you're going to take an inhale. And as you exhale, look forward towards your hand. Use the elbow and the hand to push and the leg to kick out to bring you up to seated. And then let's go down onto our backs. Have your block strap handy. Bring yourself all the way down onto your back. Bring your knees into your chest. Let's hold on to our kneecaps from above, holding onto your kneecaps, not from around the side, from straight above. Your hands grab your knees. Your thumbs are on the inside. Your fingers are pointing down to your toes. And then let the weight of the legs, let the work of the legs go. So the legs are not holding themselves up anymore. Now your arms are taking over. This is a nice way to release low back tension. Let's take an exhale here and an inhale. And on your next exhale, draw the knees straight in towards the chest. Let the elbows go out towards the sides. Feel the pelvis tilting, low back flattening, lengthen the back of your head. And inhale to straighten your legs. Exhale, draw the knees straight in. Feel them pressing against your chest, against your belly, if you could get them all the way up to your chest or towards your chest. Inhale to straighten and release. Exhale to compress. Inhale and exhale. And then spread your legs a little bit when you do this. Keep your eyes closed if you can. You inhale to straighten. Notice what you notice. You exhale to draw the knees in. One more. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's do a little undulation of the spine, do a little bridge flow. We're going to bring the block between the knees. So we're going to do a couple of versions of this. So take the blanket away from the back of your head. Walk your feet a little bit away from you. Bring your feet together so they're block distance. Let the arms go down alongside your body. Slide the shoulder blades towards your spine. Palms face you, thumbs are facing up. Take an exhale. Squeeze the block, let the low back press into the floor. And as you inhale, push your feet into the floor, lift your pelvis up, lift your left hand up, and let your head turn to the right. Exhale to lower. Inhale, squeeze the block, push your feet into the floor, lift your hand up, let your head look to the left, right hand raises. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Last one. Bring yourself all the way down. Walk your feet closer. Lift your head up. Tuck your chin to your chest. Slide your shoulder blades towards your spine. Press the palms into the ground. Press the arms into the ground, the upper arms, so you feel the chest lifting up towards the sky. Squeeze the block. Tilt the pelvis back so you feel the low back pressing into the floor. Squeeze the block. Take an exhale. Inhale. Peel your spine up and away from the floor. Don't look side to side here. Keep your eyes closed. Feel your spine moving. Exhale to lower. Peel the spine away from the floor and lay the spine back down on the floor, one vertebra at a time. Keep your spine nice and mobile, nice and healthy. Release the tension and the stress of sitting, of poor posture, of doing everything in our lives forward, computer, texting, reading, cooking, knitting, painting. Whatever it is we're doing is forward, mostly. This is a way to release the tension from that. One more. Inhale, rise, squeeze the block. Stay here for 3 breaths. Slowly lowering down. Bring the blanket back up so your head rests on the blanket. Take the block out to the side. Let's get the strap and do a supported happy baby to end today's practice, to release tension in the low back. So even when we do the practice, which is therapeutic, a lot of what we do here, the back receives everything. So nice to release the low back at the end of the practice. Let's take the strap on the soles of the feet and then spread your legs wide. Your knees are bent pretty deeply. The soles are pointing straight up towards the sky. And then pull the strap down towards the ground. The knees come closer to the armpits. You may even be able to let your elbows rest here. Feel how the low back gets pressed towards the floor. The lower ribs are pressed towards the floor. Lengthen your spine, lengthen your neck, tuck your chin towards your heart. And a little rocking and rolling here if you'd like. Take one more breath. And then unbending the knees, soles of the feet are pointing up towards the sky. So unbending the knees if that's possible for you, or keeping them bent. Have your legs be over your body, not away from your body. And you're pushing into the straps of the pinky toe edges. And then guide the legs back. Feel that stretch behind the legs. Push into the strap, in the arches of the strap and in the pinky toe edge. So you're pushing out and up and then drawing your legs back. Feel what feels appropriate here to you. Take one more breath. And then go ahead, bring the strap off, knees to the chest. It's time for Shavasana, to let the integration of whatever was done in today's practice, mind, body, and soul, to seep into your cells, your soul. What needs to be released is released. What needs to be integrated, allow that to integrate. So you could come into a Shavasana position lying flat, or you could get a chair or be against the wall, choosing whatever's appropriate for you. Let's end with our hands on her belly, staying connected, mind, body, and breath. Begin to bring your awareness to your breath. Start to bring movement to your fingers, your toes, your ankles, your wrists. Bending the knees, draw the knees into the chest, and then roll onto your side. Opening your hand and pushing yourself away from the ground to bring yourself up to a seated position. Keeping the eyes closed if you can. This is a practice. We're going to close this practice, this time we took out for ourselves to connect mind, body, soul, healing, present moment. Bring your hands together. Thumbs press into the sternum bone presses into the thumbs to help activate the muscles that hold you in a nice postural position and hold you up. We're going to close with lips are together. So let's take a big exhale to create space. Big inhale. You bow in gratitude. Namaste. So this, for those of you that practice with me all regularly, this is our last session for this series. I teach 8 weeks on and then 1 week off. This is our last session. And I teach 5 classes a week. So all 5 of my classes will be not happening next week. Although the YouTube channel that I have does have a lot of recorded practices. So I recommend that you don't take a week off. That you still practice. I won't be not practicing my own practice. I won't be teaching for a week, but I will actually be doing even more. I'm going away and I do a lot of recordings and I'm actually more sore and I do more work when on my off week, but just not teaching live. So we'll be back again 2 weeks from now, whatever that is, the weekend before Thanksgiving. And then I will teach the weekend of Thanksgiving and then 2 more Saturdays. So the last session of the year is 4 weeks. So I look forward to seeing you. Paula, I hope that that was good for you and you were able to do whatever you were able to do, because that's all you should do. You're welcome, Joanne. So I am excited. I'm having a week off next week and I look forward to seeing you all the week after that. Good, Joanne. I'm glad you liked that. All right, so that's everything. Go to my website, debbierobinson.com. I'll be fixing that this next week, making that a little bit more easy to navigate. You're welcome, Lynn. Thanks so much. And thank you, Dina. And I look forward to seeing you when I see you. All right, bye.